All right, welcome back to the 55 Buick special build, the POS piece of shit special build, which, as I'm saying, is actually turning into less of a POS every day, which is pretty cool, or at least every week when I get to work on it. So, if you're new to the channel, the whole idea of this is to build a low buck hot rod that's actually reliable and can be driven anywhere, anytime, and, didn't cost a whole lot of money. But it's not a piece of crap that is going to break down every 2 minutes. At least that's the idea. We'll see what happens. But anyway, right now we're in the middle of rebuilding the floors on this car, because when you start out with a low buck car Northeast, this is what you get. Okay, so the driver's side front pan, did that in the last video. Moving over to the passenger side front. What was a pan? This is pretty much the same as what the other side looked like. In some ways it's worse, and in some ways it's worse. I don't think it's better anywhere. The channel cover here that covers wiring is gone in the front, so I'll have to rebuild that. It'll need toe kick replaced, and on this one you can see it has a couple beads in it. So we'll copy that and put the beads in it. And because, like I said, this is a Concours restoration we're doing here. And same idea as the other side. You have multiple pieces here. You have the toe kick, and then you have the actual floor pan that went over it at that seam and disintegrated behind it. So we'll have to replace all that. We'll keep the brace in place for support. And just like the other side, we'll keep this brace here and spot weld the floor pan to that and make it all nicey nice. All right. One thing at a time. Let's get going on it. Alrighty then. As we say, alrighty then. I guess in some ways it's a little better than the other side. It might not be quite as big a hole, although if it's different, it's not by much. But let's draw some lines. And that ran a little high. Let's straighten that out. Idea here is to get to solid metal. No need to cut out a ton more than needed. I think I can come down to around here. Something like that. Trim around the brace. Got to remove all this so I can see what I'm looking at here. This will come down the inside. I know you can't see it, but I'm just drawing a line down the tunnel. Try to get to something solid here. Down there. All right, let me get this stuff removed and we'll go from there. All right. I got them out. It's gonna need a little work. That's okay. Whatever. All right, it's getting there. Let's see. This is spot welded to this, so I got to get those spot welds. This is spot welded there, so I got to get that. All right, keep cutting. All right, tedious work. I'll get these spot welds ground out. Still some around here to grind out, here, here, and along this edge here. We'll get rid of that stuff and come back in a few. Okay, here's what we're left with to get back to decent metal. Cut out quite a bit, but as expected, it is what it is. So, just like the other side, we have a couple braces underneath to spot weld the floor to. First piece I'm gonna make will be the upper half there, the toe kick, and that'll run down to about here or so and go across, and then the new floor section will overlap that, and we'll have a lap joint there like the factory coming down from the tunnel there, you can see. All right, so let's make a pattern. All right, so same as the other side. Pattern out of cardboard. And there. Transfer to metal. By the tunnel, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of work. It's not perfect. Metal doesn't bend as easy as cardboard, so we'll have to fill in a little bit over there, but for the most part, should be good to go. It'll fit in there like that. Put a couple beads in it to match the upper half. Nothing special. With my Harbor Freight bead roller, they work really well if you put a 2x2 square tube backbone on them so they don't flex, and they work fine. So yeah, we'll have to do a little bit of work over here in the corner. This will actually come up a little bit, and I'll have to fill in a little bit there. But it's gonna work. Get it tacked in. All right, we got this piece tacked in. Started burning it in. Got it plug welded. I had to drill holes here to plug weld it to that brace underneath. Good. It's real good. That'll work just fine. Some of the metal over here is a little thin. I got to bring the heat down, get that burned in there. But it's moving along. All right, we'll get that burned in all the way and then come back to do the next piece on the floor. Alrighty, toe kick is welded in, nice and strong. That'll work just fine. So next thing will be obviously to fill in the big hole here. This side is a little bigger than the other side, so what I'm going to do first is make a piece over here just for the bottom curve of the tunnel and get it straight across, and then it'll be easier to weld in a flat piece across the rest of the hole rather than try to make one piece and get the curve in it at the same time. That's not as easy to do, so I don't care about the seam. I'll make a piece to go along the bottom edge of the tunnel first, and then we'll come back and do the flat piece. Next piece of the puzzle installed. That takes care of the curve at the bottom of the tunnel there. Makes it a little easier to make more of a flat piece to fill in the rest here. All right, yet again, cardboard cutout for a template to make another piece. Alrighty, it's another day in the garage, another cold December day, but we're still out here. Because when the weather gets warm, I want to be driving this thing. But so we got to work in the cold. So where I left off a few days ago, toe pan is done. I need to vacuum it out. This piece here is done. And when I came out this morning, the usual, made a cardboard template and cut a piece of metal. And that'll work just fine. Again, vintage 1955 sheet metal, Desoto door skin. Very cool to say you have a Desoto in your Buick. Holes drilled to plug weld this piece over top of the toe kick like factory, and holes to plug weld the floor to this brace here. And I should probably drill some holes along this edge. There is a piece here I could plug weld to as well. However, that piece, yep, that'll work. Never mind. So, in the pile of stuff here, what do I do with it? All right, here it is. Put this where it's supposed to be. Let's draw some circles. Drill some holes, and we'll get that welded in. Okay, in the middle of tacking this in, sure we are. Getting there. Looking good. Just keep chasing around with welding. Hammer it where you need to. Put out the fires. Yeah, let's not burn the car down. Not yet. All right. We get it welded in. All I got left is this last strip here. Some more filling in there. One hole to fill. Almost done. And there you go. One finished floor pan. So that'll do just fine. That is better than dragging your feet on the floor. And total cost $0. I consider my labor free, even though I try to somewhat keep track of hours for the fun of it later. So the only expenses are consumables, but you know, they get used all the time, so that's what it is. Much better than $300 floor pans off eBay. So I think I'll end the video here. I still have a lot of little holes to fill and a couple smaller spots in the rear floor pan area, but nothing nearly as big as this. This was the major work, so I figured I'd video that. I won't video the rest of it because it's just kind of busy work. I will come back after floors are done and the patches are seam sealed and we're ready to put some primer on this thing. So we will see you on the next video. We are making progress.